Hello. Motivation. People all over the internet are talking about motivation. And Mel Robbins talks about it, and she's like, I think motivation is bullshit. And there's all sorts of self-help books out there in the personal development world about how to stay motivated, get and stay motivated. And what I'm going to tell you is going to free you from all the bullshit and from all the narratives that you've been telling yourself. And this is how you're actually going to get everything done that you want to get done while growing and scaling your company and while enjoying yourself more. Everything I teach you is so that you do not have to sacrifice joy and fulfillment. Those are so important. And when you're neurodivergent, if you're not having fun, you cannot have motivation. Hi. So let's write that down first and foremost. If it's not fun, you won't do it. Okay? And this is your permission to forgive yourself from the entire lifetime that you've spent of waiting till the last fucking minute to do the boring shit. That's the way your nervous system was designed. It's not your fault. Not gonna do it. Okay? Tap the screen if you understand what I'm saying. Alright? If it's not fun and you're neurodivergent, you're not going to be motivated to do it. And I'm going to share with you a method that will get you motivated and get you to become the disciplined, incredible powerhouse that you know you have lurking underneath the surface. Hello, hi. Hi guys, let's see how high we can get this number. If everybody here taps as many times as possible and hits the share button and shares it with some friends, we're gonna have an incredible conversation. I want to also mention, I am starting my Substack in March. And if you are a paid member of my Substack, you're going to get access to free templates and resources weekly that will make you a more motivated person, that will make you a more powerhouse entrepreneur, that will make you have more fun in your life, all of those things. Because I create these resources for my clients all the time, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just post about them on my stories. No, from now on, if you are a paid member of my Substack, which I'm going to start really promoting in March, and I will be sending emails out about this so you'll be able to access my Substack and follow me. Because of course there'll be stuff to follow even if you're not a paid member. But I'm really going to start going ham over on that platform. And if you are really starting to expand or really starting to show up consistently on social media for your brand and business, I strongly recommend you look into Substack. It's what's going to be the big major thing in 2025. All right, guys, I don't see any more hearts. Let's keep the hearts coming. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so when it comes to motivation and you're neurodivergent, and you're busy and you're running your businesses and you're the head of your family and you're trying to get that hot fit body and you're trying to take really good care of yourself and you're trying to be happy and you're trying to go out with your friends, you need motivation, and it will not come from the traditional sources. It does not come from anything other than momentum. Hi guys, hi. So if it's not fun, you're not gonna do it. So instead of waiting for the motivation to strike, you've got to build momentum, okay? So instead of waiting, no, you need to go lay down. I just fed you, you're not getting anything else. Go lay down. So what do we need? We don't need motivation. What we need is momentum. And what is the best way to build momentum? Do you have a guess? Do you want to tell me in the chat what you think the best way to build momentum is? Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay, so the best way to build momentum, other than just starting, obviously, the best way to build momentum is to do what's going to give you the biggest before and after for the least amount of energy, okay? So I'm going to try and create a little graph for momentum. Let's see. So we'll say easy is the axis here. And here is the axis. Okay, so this is the easy axis. And then this is the, what's the word I'm looking for when I'm before and after? Transformation? Biggest transformation. So let's say it's a Tuesday and you need to do the dishes, you need to go to the grocery store, you need to film 2 pieces of content, and you have a client call and an email to send. If we have all those things that we have to do, and we want to build momentum, momentum's over here, right? This is the optimum area that we want to be. We want to start with the easiest task that's going to give us the biggest transformation. The biggest before and after. I know, Tara. I'm so glad you got here at this time. Okay, so this is the easy axis. This is the transformation axis. If you have to do your dishes, if you have to shower, if you have to get ready, and you have to leave the house, what we're going to do is start with the stuff in the house, because the hardest thing to do is leave the house and go to the grocery store, right? So we're going to start with the easiest thing. You know, if you're going to have to shower and you're going to have to do the dishes, you want to do the dish before you shower. It just makes sense, okay? So the easiest thing to do is the dishes. The biggest transformation, dishes are like up here, you know? Once you do the dishes, the whole kitchen feels a lot fucking cleaner. You don't have to tell me, I know. And then once we've done dishes, then we know that we have to shower. Shower is not very easy, but there is a big transformation. So shower's over here. Look at the momentum we're building. We're going so much closer to the optimum space that we want to be in. And we've only done 2 things. We've only done 2 things. So by the time you do your client call and you make your content and you go to the grocery store is all the way over here. You're ready for it. You're good, bitch. You can hit the fucking grocery store. It's not a fucking problem anymore. And it didn't even take that much effort to do it. But the before and afters, listen, this is a big shout out to my fucking millennials too. A before and after. That's why we're the fucking makeover generation. That's why I have a CEO makeover, and that's why I have a CEO glow up, bitch. Because the before and after, smoking. I guess we'll let that in. I like Jim Carrey. All right, so if we're talking about the easiest thing possible with the biggest transformation, you're gonna start down here. What's the easiest fucking thing I can do? This could be make your bed. This could be take the trash out. This could be do the dishes, whatever the fuck it is. But it has to be something that's gonna give you a before and after. Because that's where the dopamine is. Did you know that if you wake up on a Saturday morning and you roll over in your bed and you stretch and you say to yourself, oh God, I would love a latte from my local coffee shop. Right there in that moment, your brain releases as much dopamine to get you up and out of bed as it does the moment you take your first sip. Doesn't that change things? Doesn't that make you go, oh, so I could act on the thought, even though I'm not a morning person. And the reason you're not a morning person isn't because necessarily you're not getting enough sleep. It's because going from asleep to awake is the hardest transition, and we're not good at transitions. The 2 hardest transitions a day are going from awake to asleep and going from dry to wet, right? So waking up or going to sleep or getting in or out of the shower are the hardest transitions. Tell me in the chat if you agree. Gratitude in bed before getting up is a pretty badass tool. You know, Tara, I have another client who does her gratitude stuff and her meditation and her visualization the moment, like right when she wakes up. Before the kids are awake and all that sort of stuff. Hi, everybody. Yay. Okay, so let's keep tapping though. I need more hearts coming. So now that we understand we have to start with the easiest thing with the biggest transformation. Think before and after. Low effort before and after. Write that down. Are you ready? Low effort before and after. That's where you start. When you're planning your day, that's where you start. Low effort with a before and after. All right, that's where you start. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I teach everybody in my 6-month lifestyle and business glow up. This is also something that I'm going to feature in my paid version of my Substack, just so you understand and know, okay? If you still are not motivated as much as you want to, I'm going to teach you the pinch motivator method, okay? Pinch. It stands for play, interest, novelty. Yeah, okay. Play, interest, novelty, competition, and haste. shout out to my clients who have gone through this with me and are already implementing it in their life. The pinch motivator methods. Oh my God, I love this song. All right. Pinch motivators. If it is not fun, if it is not interesting, if it's not new, if it's not competitive, you're gonna wait till the last fucking minute to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. The reason that we introduced the pinch motivator methods is because we don't want to use haste for everything. And when you're not feeling fantastic, when you're not operating from the best possible place for your neurodivergence and for your motivation, and you're waiting till the last minute to do everything, that's when we really want to pull on the pinch motivators. Pinch motivators are going to get you out of the slump, get you over the hump, and make you start feeling fucking fantastic. This is how you optimize. This is how you get your brain to do the work that you want it to do. This is how you integrate the enjoyable stuff into your day-to-day. I know. Hi. You guys are so sweet. Okay. So the pinch motivator. So let's talk about how we can introduce that into content creation. For example, because you're building a brand, you gotta fucking post, bitch. So how can we make our content more playful? Right now, the #1 most fast trending content you can make, the stuff that's the most impactful, is funny content. If you can make people laugh, and the only way you can make people laugh is by willing to be playful on the internet. You can go check out a bunch of my most recent videos. I'm doing a lot with humor, and I'm just a funny bitch in person, and I would behoove myself to be funnier and to talk about my psychic abilities more often in my content, but alas, not everybody can be perfect all the time. So thinking about how can I be more playful, how can I have more fun? Play is fun. Thank you, Tara, it's all the trauma. And I say that to my 16-year-old all the time because he's fucking hilarious, and I go, it makes me sad that I put you through so much that you're this fucking funny, but I'm so glad that you're this fucking funny. Now, interest. The same way that we listen to the same song over and over and over again, stim out to it, it's because we find it interesting. You have an interest-based nervous system. I'm gonna write that down. I want you to write this down because this is how you can stop fucking shaming yourself and feeling guilty about the fact that you wait till the last minute to do everything. Because if it's not interesting, your nervous system says, no thank you. Interest-based nervous system, write this down. And you can tell everybody who tells you that you're lazy or that you're not doing that you have an interest-based nervous system. This is why hundreds of thousands of years ago, we were the ones that would sit up and look for, the harmfulness, the dangers coming in, because we can see every possible little thing. We're picking up on every possible little thing. That's exhausting. So of course you're not going to have any juice or gas left in the tank to do the fucking boring shit if it's not fucking interesting. Now, Tara, let's talk about how we are so good with pressure, meaning haste, right? Haste means pressure. Haste means it doesn't give you any of the competitive, novel, interesting, or playful vibes, so you're gonna wait till the last minute. That is perfectly fine to do for the boring stuff. But we have to make everything in our life way more interesting with these 4 elements so that when we rely on haste, it's not the only thing we're ever relying on, because that's where a lot of shame lives. And that's where a lot of lack of getting where you want to go. That's what's gonna hold you back, because if you're waiting on haste for everything. So when we're looking at our calendar, and I was just talking to one of my clients about this yesterday, when we're looking at where we have time to do things, we need to minimize transitions as much as possible. So this client in particular is pregnant, has an 18-month-old, and has a 6 or 7-year-old that's in school. So when you look at her day, it is regimented. She's got a few hours in the early morning, like an hour by herself in the early morning, then a couple hours with the kids, get them off to school. Then if you've had kids before, you know that 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. sort of the kids are farting around, everybody's eating, la 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 la, but you can't do a lot because you got an 18-month-old running around. And then 18-month-old takes a nap, and she's got from 12:30 to about 2:30 to do some fucking deep work Then she goes and picks up the other kid. You got to be a mom from 2:30 to fucking 7:30, and then she's got like 7:30 to 9:30 to do more work. If you are subject to that sort of regimen, right? You're not totally free-flowing. You got kids, you got this. I understand. I was there. We need to, in those deep work hours, do something that is on the same level. Same level. So if you're going to do 2 hours of deep work on the computer, you're not doing work on the computer and then work on your phone. Work on the computer, work on your phone. That's also how you get a migraine if you get ocular migraines like me. Is looking at two different screens back and forth. Can't do that. Not good. And you need to minimize taking your brain from this line of thinking to this line of thinking. So when you're scheduling yourself, be particular about, okay, well, I'm going to do my email and I'm going to do checking on my clients or la 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 la, whatever it is you're doing on the computer in one sitting. And there's something called Parkinson's Law. I want you to look this up. Thank you so much, Tara. Look up Parkinson's Law. And that says that the work will take the amount of time you give it. So if you give yourself 2 hours to do your Canva work, it'll take 2 hours. If you give yourself 8 hours, it'll take 8 hours. And this is the most empowering universal law for founders, entrepreneurs, creators, all of that. Because we have so many projects and ideas that we have no idea how long they're going to take. And that scares you, makes you see every possible fucking step and every possible thing that could go wrong. And so you never pull the trigger on it. Tell me in the chat if you understand. So instead, you know, when you get an idea, we do this at the Neuro-Spicey Academy all the time. We get an idea for a course or a lesson or something that we want to do. And it used to be a year and a half, 2 years ago, Christina and I were like, oh my God, well, how long is it going to take us to record these courses and da-da-da-da-la-la-la. Now, using Parkinson's Law, we say, okay, well, I'm going to make this a 6-hour job. I got 2 days. I'm going to block out this time and we're going to fucking knock it out, make it work. And now with the advent of fucking ChatGPT, I love you, ChatGPT, if you're listening. I love you so much. All you got to do is come up with the idea, come up with the flow, ChatGPT, make this fucking work in my brand voice. If you're not using ChatGPT, you will be by the time I'm done with you. And I also need you to understand, if you have an interest-based nervous system and you're using the pinch motivators and you're using Parkinson's Law, you've got to change your inner dialogue. And your inner dialogue can't be, oh, I tried that once and it didn't work for me. Cool. Were you the same person when you tried it that you are now? Did it not work for somebody else, so you're going to assume it doesn't work for you? Are you just going to choose to limit yourself and cut yourself off from the possibilities of all the incredible things that you're capable of doing? You got to understand, you're growing and changing every day. This is why I encourage all the creators that I work with and all the founders that I work with to take at least 2 pictures a day so that you always have something in your content bank to post no matter what your energy level is. And because the pictures I take on Monday, I don't feel like that person anymore on Friday. It's very rare that I use the same pictures for longer than 2 weeks. Hey team, can we get this number up to 10K? Yeah. I see the hearts coming. I see the hearts coming. But okay, here's the thing too. Here's what I need you to understand. If you are not making a list, if you are not writing it down, if you are trying to remember things all fucking day, you're never going to be able to access your creativity. You cannot access the remembering part, like the memory part of your brain. Memory, you know what I'm talking about. Memory and creativity at the same time. It's physically impossible. And the amount of clients that I have that I'm working with, one just showed up right now, that were still trying to remember all of their ideas, all of their tasks, all of their to-do lists, all of their wants, all of their dreams, all at the fucking same time. Write it down. Write it down. If you are working on carousel posts on Canva for your Instagram and then you get an idea while you're doing it, write it down so you can come back to it. But your brain cannot remember all of the things that you want to do and be fucking creative and carry out the process at the same time.
You already know them. You only live once.
Tap the screen if you understand. I don't want to see the heart stop, guys. I'm going to need you guys to keep tapping. As long as you're not like driving or doing dishes with wet hands, please keep tapping. Come on. Let's get this out to the FYP. Come on. We're talking about major shit. But your memory and your creativity exist in two different parts of your brain. And you know that you're so fucking creative. And you know you're so fucking powerful. And you know that there's so much potential that you're not reaching. And I can tell you it's because you're still trying to remember your dentist appointment next week. You're still trying to remember that really great idea that came to you while you're getting ready for bed. Get a fucking notebook. Write it in your phone. Save it. Come back to it. We no longer have to act instantly on all the ideas that we have. Ideas really like to percolate and come into different things and be different. For example, my CEO walk starter kit, I'm gonna hawk that through my fucking, not Snapchat. What's the one? Substack. So I thought I was gonna do, and I set everything up for a big launch. No, I'm gonna do it through my Substack. My CEO walk starter kit. Still coming. Just percolated into a different avenue. You've got to create the space. You've got to create the space. This is also why we streamline our wardrobe. And Tara can talk about how much more physical and mental and emotional energy she has for all the things that she wants to accomplish each day, simply from streamlining her wardrobe and understanding how all the pieces work together, understanding the hairstyles that she likes to do based on what day of hair she has, how to do her makeup on a quick day, how to do her makeup on a long day. Can you imagine how much more brain power you would free up if instead of standing at your closet or at your dresser every day and like trying to figure out what you wanted to wear, if you just knew, okay, I'm in this part of my cycle, I have this much work to do, I'm making content, so it looks like I'm gonna wear these pants and this shirt. You know exactly how you're gonna feel all day in them, right? Like when I wear my hair extensions, I cannot wear them more than 8 hours. I'll be overstimulated by then. And I haven't worn them a lot recently, which is strange, but whatever. I also know with my makeup and my lashes, that's a maximum of 10 hours. By 10 hours, I wanna take it all off. For real, for real. I know when I go out for my walk, I have to have a hat with a brim, or I'll get overstimulated and I'll get a headache from squinting and having the sun in my face. I know how much caffeine I can fucking have before I get too much. I know what colors I look best in. I know the fabrics that I wear. I know the silhouettes that I'll wear. And now, not only is it easier to get ready every day and then do everything else in the day that you need to do, it's also more enjoyable to go shopping because you're never gonna go cry in a fucking dressing room ever again when you grab something off the fucking rack that looked incredible on the mannequin but looks like trash on you because it's not in your color palette, it's not in your season, it's not built for your body. Come on. Do we have time for this anymore? I'm almost 39. Everything is a strategy. Your mindset is a strategy. The people you surround yourself with is a strategy. The clothing that you wear is a strategy. The way you do your hair and makeup is a strategy. And the sooner you fucking figure that out, I feel like I could write the 48 Laws of Power, but for female founders. Yeah. I actually recently got a pair of jeans and I don't hate them, but they're so loud when you walk. Why are jeans so loud? Yoga pants aren't loud, but jeans are like, here I come, swish, 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 swish. What the fuck? So, if we're gonna write everything down and we're gonna look at our schedule through the lens of the pinch motivators, and we understand that the way to build momentum is to start with the low effort and the biggest before and after, tell me now how you can't accomplish every fucking thing that you need and want. What's the excuse now? Are you still waiting to feel ready? You can feel happy. You can feel sad. You can feel scared. You can feel empowered. But you'll never fucking feel ready. Ready is a decision. It's a choice that you make and you continue to carry out. And understand this, courage in the moment feels like fear. So instead of saying, how do I stop feeling like an imposter? How do I stop being scared? How do I feel brave enough to do it? You do it. You change your beliefs. Understand that all of this, being able to start writing things down so that you can be creative and being able to make the fucking momentum that you need to make so that your life looks the way that you want it to and continues to progress in the direction that you want, and being able to stay engaged and actually get shit done and follow through, all stems from your belief that you deserve it. I'm gonna write that down. 48 Laws of Power, but for female founders. Also, shout out, this is the first day that I do not feel like I'm swallowing a knife. So that's very exciting. Okay, so if all of this, if your motivation is directly tied to your fucking beliefs, let's start there. You're not a flake. You self-abandon because you don't believe that you deserve to look and feel fantastic. And you know that looking fantastic is directly related to feeling fantastic, because that's why people get dressed up. That's why a black tie event is so exciting. That's why all of us have mirrors all over our house. That's why the most expensive property you can ever buy in real estate is the place with a fucking view. We're visual creatures. But if you're still looking for validation from everybody, if you're still waiting for somebody to give you, what's the word? It's an easy word. Permission? Are you still waiting for somebody to come in and tell you what to do? No. The perspective shift is legit life-changing. I've never felt so good about my life ever. Tara, and you've been putting in the work. Tara is about to graduate the 6-month lifestyle and business glow up. And when I met Tara a few years ago, I told her that she's going to be one of my biggest transformations yet. And bitch, I wasn't wrong. Tara, if we were to meet at 20, it wouldn't have been this way. Because I was a fucking wild child. Still am a wild child, but now like I have major goals. Now I have major goals. We would have had a fucking ball. I would have been 18 and not married. I didn't even meet my husband yet. I met him at 19 and then got married at 20. Also, shout out to everybody. Have you ever watched the show Girls? I never got into it, but I've started finally getting into it. And I think the reason I never got into it is because I didn't have that kind of 20s. I was married at 20. And I popped out kids at 22 and 23. So now that I'm 38 going on 39, I'm really starting to understand the whole like, go find yourself idea. You know, isn't it crazy the different kind of lives that we've all lived? Lives, you know what I mean. All right, so what are your questions? How do we implement the pinch motivators? How do we relax the memory, the working memory? Do you guys know what the, well, first and foremost, you gotta go take the quiz. Okay, Google, volume 7, please. I love this song. You've gotta take the quiz to find out what your founder style archetype is. That comes with an ebook that will help you start implementing the changes right away so that you can take your foot off of the gas a little, recalibrate, and actually start doing the things that you want to do. Can we go over the pinch again? Yes. All right, so, okay, Google, volume 6, please. When you have when you look at your calendar and you look at your to-do list and you have different tasks, if we start looking at our tasks through the lens of what could be the most fun and playful, what could be the most interesting, what could be the most new and novel, because we know we love new shit. Hi, Hyperfocus, how are you? And if we can make it competitive, then we no longer have to rely on haste for everything. But haste will always work. That's pressure. That's waiting till the last minute. Waiting till the last minute will always release the dopamine to get something done. That's why we've always, always, always done that. Okay? Because it works. So instead of using haste for everything, but you can use haste for the boring shit. That's fine. For the stuff that's never going to be exciting, you can use haste. But what we want to start doing is living our life in a more playful way, with more interesting stuff going on, with more new stuff, and with more competition. Absolutely, Tara. That's a good point. Everybody share the live. How do you get going when you wake up having super low energy and you feel like you could fall back asleep? That's a very, very, very good question. And I will tell you. Assuming you're not sick, because these rules don't really apply if you're sick. If you're sick, you need rest. Or you at least need to know what your limits are when you're sick. And I know none of you know what your limits are because none of you have been tracking your energy. A few of you have. But until you realize what your capacity is, when you wake up in the morning, you need to understand that we are not good at transitions. It is very rare that a neuro-spicey person wakes up and is like, yay, I'm ready for the day. It's very rare. So when you get up and you feel like you could still go back to bed, I need you to get all the way out of bed. I need you to get your morning beverage, your little snack, whatever the fuck it is. And then I need you to go somewhere else in your home, drink your little caffeinated bevy, eat your little snacky poo, scroll for a little bit, put a timer on for like 20, 30 minutes. And when that timer goes off, figure out if you still feel like trash. If you still feel like trash and you're not motivated and you're not sick, I want you to get ready. So you're going to start with the easiest thing that's going to give you the biggest before and after. Easiest thing with the biggest before and after. Easiest thing to figure, it could be tidying up the kitchen. It could be getting in the shower. It could be changing your clothes. It could be making your bed. It doesn't matter what it is. You're looking for the easiest thing with the biggest before and after. Then, that's going to make you go, okay, I could do something else. And then you're going to do something else. Then you're going to do something else. And then you're going to just get ready for your day. Put the clothes on, put the makeup on, whatever it is that you do to get ready. And if you still feel like going back to bed at that point, go back to bed. You're probably sick. But I guarantee you, if you're not sick, you'll be ready for your day by then. Just understand, chemically speaking, you gotta pump the dopamine into your body by doing things that give you dopamine. Girl, I feel you. My luteal phase is coming around the corner. Listen, we're not good at transitions. It's okay. If you're not a morning person now, you're probably never gonna be, honey. But let me also explain this to you. This is how dopamine works. And every time I explain this to one of my clients, they flip the fuck out. Here's how dopamine works. All right, I gotta clear the whole thing. Here's how dopamine works in your body. We have a baseline of dopamine. And when you're neurodivergent and you're tapping the screen and you're sharing the live with your friends, you have a low baseline. All right, this is your baseline. Neurotypical people's baseline is up here, right? Right, let's say here's the scale of dopamine. All right, so your baseline's lower than everybody else's. Or from the neurotypicals, that's fine. All those people that write those fucking self-help books, their baseline's up here. They just brush their teeth without thinking about anything. There's no bargaining in it. They just get in the shower without standing there naked for 10 minutes, scrolling their phone, going, ugh, I gotta get in there, the water's hot now. So because your baseline is low, we implement the pinch motivators so that you're having more fun, everything's more interesting, it's new and novel and competitive and whatnot, and that raises your baseline a little bit, okay? So then, by living your life like that, instead of your baseline being low, it's going to go up. But every time you get a hit of dopamine, be it natural and small, or be it big and gigantic, you get a hit of dopamine, and you have to have an equal under before you level back out to that baseline. You have no choice. If the hit is really, really big, then the low is really, really big. And then you're back to baseline. So what we do in all my programs is we raise your baseline with your lifestyle and your mindset and your inner narrative and the healing of the trauma and the shame that you carry around. And then we make your dopamine hits smaller and more frequent and more predictable. And less of these big, unnatural, the first thing you do in the morning is hit TikTok. And so that your baseline goes up And then you have predictable ups and downs. It's not quite the window of tolerance. It's not quite that. It's really just, if you choose to start doing the tasks that give you a nice natural hit, right? So doing the dishes, going for a walk, exercising, eating high protein, talking kindly to yourself, exploring new ideas and things like that, then you're getting more often smaller hits, more predictable, and you're raising the baseline. So when you have to go back under the baseline to balance out, it's not as bad. But if your baseline is low and the only thing you're doing is giving yourself a big gigantic hit and a big under and a big, can you imagine? That's why most of us get diagnosed with the wrong fucking thing. That's why most of us get hit with bipolar or BPD instead of PMDD and CPTSD and ADHD. Okay, Google. Next song, please. That's why lifestyle and mindset are crucial for any change that you want to make. You can't heal in the place that hurt you. And if people don't understand, it's not your responsibility to explain it to them. And it's not your responsibility to say, well, hey, I'm healing myself, so if you like it or you don't like it, shut the fuck up. Stop trying to explain yourself to anybody. You no longer need validation. Only from yourself. Only from yourself. That's the secret. Now, I'm going to also tell you that I have just a few spots available to work with me one-on-one. For your CEO glow up. For your lifestyle and business glow up. For your before and after that's not only going to knock your socks off, but everybody else's too. That's going to make you happy. Because here's the thing. If money made you happy, we wouldn't deal with Elon Musk right now. And every single one of my clients hits a level of financial success, and then they realize that that's not what makes them happy. And they keep telling themselves that, oh, well, when I achieve XYZ, then I'll celebrate myself. And it just doesn't happen. Because you have to learn how to celebrate yourself. You have to learn how to prioritize happiness and fulfillment. You have to learn how to prioritize yourself over everybody else. Because if you think that hitting a certain amount of money per month, for most people it's like, once I hit $100,000 per month, I'm going to be fucking stoked. But thinking that you're just naturally going to learn all of a sudden one day how to be happy and how to celebrate yourself with a milestone is like thinking that you're going to learn how to ride a bike and that's going to make you become a professional swimmer. It's two totally different things. And instead of waiting until you achieve something, which is the lie that you've been taught that you can't be happy and you can't be proud and you can't shout about your successes from the rooftops unless you achieve something big and major. And then you shift into the, well, you know, I graduated from college, but it was expected, so how can I celebrate that? If you just shift into, I'm going to be fucking happy every day and I'm going to celebrate myself every day, then the universe just keeps delivering stuff to celebrate and be happy about. Because if you keep saying, I'll be happy when, then your happy always exists in the future and it does not exist in the present moment. And you can't create a fucking fabulous brand and the life that you want if you keep putting your happiness in the future. And if you have an interest-based nervous system and then you prioritize having fun every day, not all day every day. It is planet Earth. But you got to understand too, you are never manifesting a problem-free life. What you are manifesting is champagne problems. It's never problem-free. But we want to go from the bullshit we're dealing with now to the fucking incredible bullshit that we deal with when we're making more money and we have more time to ourselves. Planet Earth comes with problems. That's why we choose to incarnate on planet Earth. So that we can learn things. And the only way you learn things is by overcoming shit. And everybody wants to party with you at the top, but nobody wants to make the trek up there with you. So what are you going to do when you leave this live? What actions can we take to start integrating this information? Because integration and application and execution is the challenge. It's not acquiring the knowledge, it's integrating it into your life. You're welcome, Sam. And you know that it's not yelling, it's actually just excitement and the fact that I am unable to control the volume of my voice. I try and be cool, but it's hard. Cleaning out your closet is a fantastic place to start. Absolutely. I'm gonna put my phone down because I use this for my scroll time, and I'm gonna start with getting ready. That's fantastic. What I also would like you to do is I want you to look at your schedule, and I want you to see where you can minimize transitions. One of the reasons that I like my CEO walk so much is because I can do a whole bunch of shit while I'm walking around, so it's like I never transition through anything. But here's how bad I am at transitions. When I'm walking home and I go through this park that's near my house, you can go down the grassy knoll or you can go down the cement stairs. And I have to go down the grassy knoll because if I go down the cement stairs and I'm on my phone doing stuff, I stop at the top of the stairs and I lean on the handrail. And I caught myself doing this a couple months ago, and I was like, do, and all of a sudden I went, wait, why am I just standing here? And it's because those stairs are a transition. This is also why you walk into a room and you forget why you were going there, because the doorway naturally, subconsciously shifts your brain into the next thing, so you forgot why you were going in there. What? Really? I'm out in the middle of a beautiful park and cement stairs are the things that stop me? What? This also changes the way that you think about that latte, right? Latte, $7, get you out of the house, get you moving, get you working, get you happy, get your dopamine. Bitch, what's wrong with that? So I want you to think about where you can minimize transitions. Where can you also make things more fun? Have you ever heard me talk about the evil brain toddler? You have an evil brain toddler that exists in your head and is always saying, I want a story, tell me a story. And the problem is, we have not trained that evil brain toddler to want a nice story, a constructive story, a positive story. And we were raised with people that were very highly critical of us and didn't know what the fuck we needed and gave us lots of trauma. So now that evil brain toddler is always looking for a bad story. And it's always trying to tell you the worst possible case scenario. And it's always just being a dick. So if you have started leaning away from a shower, cooking dinner, any of those other things that have to be done but are boring, put a fucking show on. So that evil brain toddler has something to pay attention to, has a story, and you, when I sit here and I'm cooking food, I have all my notepads out, I have a show going, it's usually like Real Housewives or something I've seen a gajillion times. It can't be a new show. It's gotta be one that you've already seen, so that you don't like feel bad if you're missing out on things. And it's just enough that it can play in the background, that evil brain toddler is occupied, and you can get so many fucking ideas flowing through to you. That's how I meditate. Because if you put me in a dark, quiet room, it's not good shit that's gonna come to my mind. And I've been working on mindset since 2018. And for all of us that are healing from our CPTSD and maybe our PTSD and rewiring our inner narrative and rewiring our mindset and all those things, don't test yourself with a scenario that you're 99% likely to fail. That's not going to reinforce any of your growth. And the boring neurotypicals want to tell you that needing a story or a show on in the background is a sign that there's something wrong with you. But the problem is, their brain can't handle it, but it's what you need to get your brain to do the things you want it to do. It could be a podcast. It could be music that you really like, whatever it is. But if I don't have another story playing for that evil brain toddler, he's going to try and rake me over the fucking coals. So when you leave this live, you're going to look at your schedule this weekend and see where you can minimize transitions. If you need to do work on the computer, try and do it all in that sitting. Don't say I want to do work on the computer in the morning and in the afternoon. Do we really need to do that? Is there any work from the computer we could do from our phone while we're on a walk? Maybe we're on our walking pad if you don't have a fantastic neighborhood to go for a walk in. You're going to start implementing more fun everywhere that you can. Try and make your life as fun and enjoyable as possible. If you don't do it, nobody else will. If you don't do it, nobody else will. It's called romanticizing your life. How can we make this enjoyable? And you're going to reach out to me because you're ready for change, and you're going to see which of my programs is right for you. My 6-week CEO makeover or my 6-month lifestyle and business glow up. You're welcome. You guys are so sweet. And I will be putting this live over on my YouTube. And I'll be sharing it with my email list. Energy tracking, bitch. You know we can. All right. First and foremost, if you don't track your energy, really? I'm glad that you're hearing it now. If you don't track your energy, not your time, we gotta track your energy. We gotta track how things make you feel. How does that change throughout the day and the week and the month and the year? What is your true capacity? When you're not masking, when you're not trying to please everybody else, when you're not trying to ignore your needs and act like you don't have them. Obviously that doesn't work. That's what got us burned out. That's what kept us stuck in hustle culture. How many of you still say to yourself, no, I have to work. No, I have to do this. I can't rest. I have to earn the rest. Rest is revenue. You don't expect to drive a car 100 miles an hour every time you get in it, even if you're just going to the corner store, and never have to put gas in the tank or water in the thing or new tires on it. You never expect that. Why do you expect that of yourself? And when you come out of chronic fight or flight and you actually let everything settle down, you're gonna need more fucking sleep, because your body's gonna go, oh, you mean there's no more tigers? And you're gonna sleep. And it's not gonna be like that forever. But you're gonna track it. You're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna write down how many hours you slept and how you feel. And in the middle of the day, you're gonna write down how you feel and what you ate. We're just tracking details here. It's not like you need to tell your life story. It's not like you're doing a journal. You're just tracking details, data. That's all we want. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna write down how you feel about your day and any other extraneous information that you think could benefit you. Went out to drinks or for drinks with the girls, you know, whatever it is. It's all the shit, because your working memory is trash. If you go Google the 8 executive functions, you're gonna figure out which one is your best one. For me, it's planning and prioritizing, and which one is your worst one. For me, it's working memory. Some people it's task initiation, some people it's organization, but you can Google it and you're gonna learn a lot about yourself. But your ADHD and your autism doesn't give you a bad brain, it gives you bad executive function. So we accommodate the executive function with lists and notepads and tracking, and then we're able to employ our problem solving and our pattern recognition. Because when you look at a bunch of your data, you say, oh, well, this is how this makes me feel. Oh, well, this is a predictable outcome to this. Oh, and then you can totally redesign your fucking schedule for what you need. Not what I need. Not what your neighbor needs. Not what your clients need. What you need. If you want help, you can go get the Enhanced Energy Optimization Guide over there on my Stan store. But you've spent your entire life trying to deny yourself and your needs and come from a place of not needing any sort of support or help or functionality. And now I need you to figure out exactly what you need. And gasp, take care of it. But you'll never know if you don't track. I mean, you don't even remember what you had for dinner last night. You didn't even remember that you put that load of laundry in the washer yesterday. You got that great business idea the other day. Did you write it down? You're welcome. All right. If there's no more questions, then I'm gonna go. So we're just checking in on how we feel throughout the day. Memory is still sleepy. Yes. Just write it down. And the main reason that you want to write it right when you wake up in the morning is because you'll start to see that just because you feel like shit in the morning doesn't mean that you're not getting enough rest. Necessarily, it could be that you're not getting enough rest. But it could just be that you're really bad with transitions. And the morning transition is the hardest one. And so if you track your energy and you say, all right, this is how I feel and I got 7 hours of sleep. This is how I feel and I got 9 hours of sleep. This is how I feel and I got 10 hours of sleep. If you always feel like shit when you wake up in the morning, it's a transition thing, not a rest thing. If in the middle of the day, you always need a nap and you're not giving yourself one, maybe we start taking a nap. This is how I found out that I don't actually like lunch at lunchtime. I prefer lunch around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I like a little brekkie. I like a little snacky. And then I like, especially because it's wintertime now, I go out for my walk between like 12 and 3 now, usually. Sometimes it's still in the later afternoon. Sometimes it's still in the morning. But once it's summertime, I got to go for my walk in the early morning or late at night because it's a gajillion degrees. So for the middle of the day, I'm going to have to change what I'm doing. I forget how revolutionary all of this information is. You know, the lifestyle that we're taught is really not the one that supports us. At all. Especially not if you're running your own business. Nope. And depending on where I'm at in my cycle, sometimes I don't even eat dinner. If I'm in certain parts of my cycle, I'm not hungry. If I'm in other parts of my cycle, I'm super hungry. Oh, what a fun song. It actually makes what I do a lot easier because I just have to teach people how to learn themselves. Because you already want the best. You already want to feel fantastic. You just don't believe that you deserve it, so you haven't thought about all the ways that you could make it happen. But once we change that, your belief that you deserve it, you're seeking it out everywhere you can. But you gotta believe that you're deserving of it. Oh, there's 4 phases of your cycle. Society teaches you that it starts with your menstruation, then your follicular, then your luteal, and then your... No, menstruation, follicular, ovulation, and then luteal. For me, I start my cycle the first day that my period's over. So I start it with my follicular, okay? Your follicular, depending on you and what you track, your follicular is only about 7 days. And technically menstruation is follicular, but you're bleeding during then, so it's, to me, it's not the same. So your follicular is approximately 7 days. For me, my follicular is the best fucking time of my cycle. I am motherfucking unstoppable during my follicular, and you'll see it. I'll go live 5 times a day. I'll make 50 videos a day. I will just be rocking and rolling and shaking and doing, oh my God, I'm unstoppable during my follicular. And so I do a lot during my follicular. And then I switch into ovulation. Ovulation is actually just 1 day. And if you get to know yourself, you probably feel it. I was on a mushroom journey the last time I ovulated, and I felt it right down here, and I went, oh, I've always felt that. Oh, I ovulated, la, la, la. Like, it was a real moment. It was a real fucking Cinderella moment. Anyways, ovulation, they say, is approximately 3 to 5 days, and that is actually just because sperm can live that long inside of you. What? What? Are you kidding me? So ovulation is actually 1 day, okay? And this is true for me. You have to track to find out yours. So that means 8 days a month, I'm riding high. Then, if you're a PMDD girly, like me, the luteal hits. And the hormones go wackadoodle. And your histamines go, ah! Because if your estrogen's high, your histamines are high. And did you know if your histamines are high, then your serotonin is low, and this is why you feel like shit when you're sick? You feel depressed when you're sick? It's because serotonin cannot be high if histamines are high. And histamines are what your body uses to fight things off. And so if you have PMDD or any other mast cell activation syndrome like I have and your histamines are wackadoodle, you got to get your histamines down for any hope in hell of feeling good. So, for me, my luteal is 14 days. And then I'm menstrual. And as soon as my period starts, my luteal peaks 2 days before my period. And this last time, I was dark. It was not good. It was bad. I'm not gonna lie, it was bad. Mentally, emotionally, it was bad. It was not good. I don't even care to talk about it. It was so bad. And then my menstrual, now that I don't use any of those toxic products or anything like that, is only 3 days. So, what do you got? You got 3 weeks, 4, 5, 6. It's actually even longer than that for me because I get my period about every 30 days. So, when you start tracking, you'll know these things. And I can actually now, here's some fun facts. I can tell what part of my cycle I'm in based on my body odor. I can feel the dark cloud come over me, my luteal phase. I can feel my antihistamines kick in. I can feel the actual act of ovulation. And so now, what I do to maximize, my productivity and my joy is I plan most things for my business during my luteal. So I plan when I feel like shit, and then I execute when I feel fantastic. And we were always taught that we feel the worst on our period, but I actually feel the worst during my luteal. I would actually take the cramps that I get on my period and the bleeding and stuff that I get on my period, now that I don't use all the fucking shit that is toxic as fuck, I would double or triple my menstruation just to make my luteal less. I really would. It's a bad time. So, once you learn yourself, and there's things you can do to really optimize your period. There's seed cycling. I strongly encourage you to look into that. And it has to do with taking 2 kinds of seeds during 2 parts of your cycle and 2 seeds during the second part of your cycle, because they have the minerals in it that can support your body during that time. So the follicular overlaps the menstrual. Yes. So technically you are in your follicular the moment you start menstruating. And that has to do with the change in your hormones. So the moment you start menstruating, I believe it's the progesterone that starts going up and the estrogen that starts going down, or it's the other way around, whatever it is. So technically menstruation and follicular are the same thing. It's just not as fun because you're bleeding. But technically menstruation, you are in your follicular. And if you look at all the charts that are put out there on, by like the scientists and stuff, they tell you, like if you look at a workout chart, they tell you the best time to work out is during ovulation, but I actually feel way more powerful during my follicular. But I also have screwy hormones because of mast cell activation syndrome and PMDD and endometriosis and polycystic ovarian syndrome and perimenopause and whatever the fuck else. So, once you start tracking, and I like to think that the follicular, like the day that I stop bleeding is the first day of my cycle, because like, here comes the good feelings. But I can understand why, the men that created this started with the menstrual, because when you're menstrual for sure because you started bleeding. So, but here's what I want you to know too. Self-diagnosis is the most valid form of diagnosis, whether it's self-diagnosing PMDD or endometriosis or, ADHD or autism, because you self-diagnose everything before you go to the doctor. You get a cold, you get what you think is the flu, you get what you think is a tummy bug, whatever it is, you have to fucking go, oh, well, this is not right in my body, and then you go to the doctor. So don't doubt yourself. The more that you can connect with yourself and the more you can build that trust and the more that you can build that belief that you're worthy of feeling fantastic, the more likely you are to make the changes that you need to start living the life that you want. Because, I'm living a fantastic life. I'm really enjoying myself. I love my work. I love what I do. But I still have raging PMDD. I still had 2 very dark days last month right before my period. It was not good. It was not something that I would wish on anybody. I still deal with suicidal ideations. I still get real snappy with the people that I love the most. But because I figured all this out about myself, if I say a real jerk thing, my kids and my husband all have the same expression where they go, and I'm like, I might be in my luteal, huh? Good to know. Thanks for helping me out with identifying that. So, and this is coming from a girl who I never used to know when my period was coming. Literally anytime I went to the doctor and they're like, what's first day or last period? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. And then they look at you like you're fucking nuts. I know. Men who don't even experience anything with our parts tell us how to do things. Great. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. All right, kids, if there's no more questions, now is the time to ask your question. I'll do one more song where you ask me your questions. We've talked about a lot of information today. Just imagine what it's like to work with me one-on-one. I forget how knowledgeable I am. I even got a message for a mutual of mine via Instagram messages yesterday. I had to we're doing some little thing together next month, and I was messaging her something. Her spirit guides popped some shit into my head, and I was like, this is gonna be really weird, and I don't know if you know that I do this, and I feel like Teresa Caputo, but is something going on with XYZ in you? And she was like, oh my God, how did you know? And I was like, I'm a psychic. And your spirit guides finally feel connected enough to me for that. Making a schedule when you struggle with scheduling. It just needs to be base level. It just needs to be, it doesn't need to be detailed. If you put a lot of details into your schedule, then your brain is gonna feel like you already did it. And so when it comes time to actually do the thing, your brain's gonna be like, no, we already did this. So think about, you know, you don't have to tell yourself how you get ready, because you know how you get ready. You don't have to say like brush your teeth, brush your hair, take a shower, nah. Just say take an hour to get ready. And then you say take an hour and a half for your walk. And then you say grocery store, right? You just have to write down what you want to do. It doesn't have to be super detailed. And the schedule is simply so that you're not trying to remember everything. It's so that you can refer to the piece of paper or the note in your phone or whatever it is. Don't make it super detailed. And this is true with business planning too. If you're planning out like a new thing, like when I was planning out my CEO Walk Starter Kit, I knew that I have all the information in my head. I didn't have to write it all down when I got the idea. I just had to write down CEO Starter Kit, and I knew when I went on my walk that I was going to talk to ChatGPT about it. Done. Just learn the stuff that you can do when you're on the move. Learn the stuff that you have to do when you're on the computer. Like I have to be on my computer to send an email to my list, but I don't have to be on my computer to create that email. And I know that if I'm standing in my kitchen and I'm making content by staring out the bright window, I cannot right after that go to my computer and look at my computer screen or I'll get a migraine. And I know that I benefit from transitionary activities, like a little snack and a little scroll in between content and computer. I know that I benefit from a little nappy poo during certain parts of my cycle. I know that I benefit from an early bedtime during certain parts of my cycle. I just had the craziest cold that made me feel like I was swallowing fucking knives for 7 or 8 days, and you can bet I was getting way more sleep because I knew I needed it. And I don't shame myself for any of the things that I require. Say, well, it's a good thing I know that I need this. You already have all the information. We just need to make it so that you're not trying to remember all of it. Use ChatGPT too. Say, I want to create a schedule. Here's everything that I need to do. I need to schedule it where I do something, I do the lowest effort, highest reward activities to build momentum. And so say you have to start with dishes and you fucking hate dishes. I hate dishes too. I pay somebody to do them. Make it as enjoyable as possible. Put a fucking show on. Put your phone in front of you where it's not going to get wet and have that show playing. And you'll be surprised if you start playing a show or a podcast or something in the background, you'll be surprised about all the fucking ideas that come flooding into you because your evil brain toddler is occupied. And if you start to get overstimulated, turn the show off. And it's got to be a show that you've already watched before. It cannot be a new thing. So, you know, one of your manifestation shows. Real Housewives. I like a lot of the real estate shows for manifestation shows, all that sort of stuff. Watch people that have what you want, who are high achievers and highly motivated. Works for me. You'll find what works for you. But you have to give yourself permission to figure that out. All right, kids. So I'm going to download this so that I can post it over to my YouTube. I would love it if you're following me on YouTube too. And then because I was sick all week, I didn't make any plans this weekend, and I'm actually not feeling like shit. So I'll be in my DMs if you want to discuss what your best options are for working with me so that you can feel as fucking fantastic as possible, as soon as possible. So you can start running your business instead of it running you. And I love you all equally and for different reasons, and we'll talk again really soon. Okay, bye.